is there any truth to what, there's a lot that Candace is saying, so I don't know, I can't ask every specific point that she's brought up. But is Candace Owens onto something? Is she getting it right?
Hey everybody, it's me, Josh with Hope, and I'm bringing you a follow-up session today. Months ago when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, some really interesting replies came through in the session that we did, and many of you got to see that session. One of the responses was that he was set up. And some of you asked me, well, how come you didn't ask him a follow-up? I didn't hear it in real time. I hear some of the responses in real time that you'll hear me respond to. But a lot of times I have to go back and review the footage in order to understand what is said, and that's just normal. So many of you asked me to do a follow-up and ask for him again and see if I could get any more information. So I did, and I got some interesting responses. Additionally, I asked some tougher questions, and some answers didn't come through, but there were some that were pretty telling. I don't know, some of you will probably say, well, why didn't you keep pressing him and asking him? Because that's not how it works. I ask as many questions as I can, and whatever comes through, and whatever doesn't. I'm not here to interrogate them. I'm here to see if they'll give us any further information regarding what they know. Some things I feel like they do know, some things I don't feel like they know. So that's just the way it goes. So I'm going to share that with you. Also, it's imperative that you understand that moving forward, and for the last year and a half, 2 years, I have taken the time in the beginning of these sessions, not to extend these sessions to make them longer, but to educate you all further on every bit of my process. So the more information that you guys understand, that you're armed with the facts, then you can kind of spot the disinformation that is going around. But if you've heard me give this spiel many times, you can go down to the bottom of the video where the timeline is, and you can skip this part and go right to where the session is. But if you don't know how the process works, or if you're still not sure, or still needing to understand more about it, take the time to listen to how this all works and how you can validate my sessions, okay? I don't think there's anyone else out there doing these types of sessions that really takes the time and explains the sound source and what I'm using and why I'm doing this or moving my hands or whatever, so that you can understand more about it. So as I state, I am an experienced medium. I've been doing this for close to 14 years at this point, over 5,000 readings. It's important that I intuitively connect to these people on my own before I ask for them through the box. I am using something called the Hope voice signature method. That's where if I'm able to get the actual person's voice, I take their voice and I reverse it. I slow it down by 50%, and then I chop it up into 2-second increments and randomize it. Therefore, we have a track of human voice so that the spirit can use it to form their own responses. Why do I do that? Well, because spirit doesn't have a traditional voice like you and I have, or they had when they were here. They don't have vocal cords like they do, so it's hard to imprint their actual voice in this dimension. That's why when I record a EVP off a voice recorder, that you hear a whisper, and you hear my voice with tone and their voice with whisper. So when we give them back a voice, they can use it to form their own responses. But I don't give them a voice with forward words, because then you can get false positives. So I'm giving them back a voice with reversed, chopped up, slowed words, and they take it, they form their own responses with it. I feed that through my box. It is not a special box. It is not a woo-woo box. It's not some blessed box. It's just a guitar amp with reverb pedals that add reverb to elongate the sound waves, which makes it easier for the spirit to form their own responses with. So there's nothing special about the box. Remember, anyone can do this work. If you are serious and honest, you can do this work and get the same type of results, and many of you have. So by using that reverse chopped up audio, When they're not using it, you just get gibberish coming through. But when they do use it, you hear clear responses, yes, and 2, 3, 4 word responses that are pertinent to what I'm asking them. So I keep it running in the background of the box. So it's not constant sound coming out. I ask a question, I turn the dial, I bleed some of that sound through for them to use it, and hopefully they time up their response within that time frame of me turning the noise gate. I always tell people, if you want to validate the work that I'm doing, reverse the sound banks in my app, reverse my responses. What you will find are pieces of words and actual words that have been slowed down and distorted. That tells you that I'm not laying in forward words to my sessions, tells you I'm not using AI, and that this is the sound source that I am actually using. So that's important. Other than that, this is what I've got for you, what came through. I think it's important. I also encourage you, whether you agreed with Charlie's ideas or not, say a prayer for him. Say a prayer that he finds the light and continues on with his journey. That's what I always recommend. If anyone's interested in anything that I'm doing and working on, you can always visit hopeparanormal.com. And also check out this article that I wrote. And it really goes into detail about, the honesty in the work that I'm doing, the dishonesty in some of these creators and other ITC people and other debunkers and other things like that. So check that article out. It's an informative read. And let's get right into the session.
So I'm running the spirit box, the radio spirit box, off the app. And I'm looking to connect with Charlie Kirk. We've connected before. It was a good connection. I'm feeling a lot of energy. That's interesting. Okay. I feel like he's coming into the room. The door was open, and the guide, one of my other guides, was there, it felt like. Going into the door where I couldn't see him, I felt like he was talking to Charlie, and I feel like I see Charlie by the door. This is like a portal. When that door opens up, it's not like he has to travel to me. It's like the door opens up where he's at. And he has the the choice whether to come in to the room or not from where he was. Like the door where he was is a connection to where my astral room is. And I see you, Charlie, within the room. You're not exactly at the table yet. So Charlie, I'm inviting you to sit down with me. What happened? If you would like to sit down with me and try and use this with me. Again, I'm going to shut off the radio. Many people got to see your session, your clip, and they heard you say that you were set up. There are many people that think you're still alive. I clearly don't believe that, and believe that you are on the other side. Some say that you were not shot by a gun. You were, there was the exploding microphone, that the bullet casing didn't match the gun or was inconclusive. There's a lot of information that Candace Owens is sharing and uncovering. And I don't know if it's all true or not. People think that, your wife might have had something to do with this. I do not know. Some people think the Israeli government has something to do with this. I do not know. Charlie, can you use this? Okay, said use something, I don't know. Now you said that you were set up in the session that we did. That was one of the first things that you said. It was very clear. Can I ask you, who set you up? So let me see. I'm not going to ask you questions multiple times, the same question. I'm just going to try to give you this opportunity. I don't know how well you'll be able to do this again or what, but did the Israeli government have anything to do with your death? Is there any truth? Is there any truth to what... There's a lot that Candace is saying, so I don't know. I can't ask every specific point that she's brought up. But is Candace Owens onto something? Is she getting it right? Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you support the way that Erica is running the company and what she's doing? Are you in support of all that's going on there? People think that there was an exploding microphone that killed you and not the bullet from the gun. Was it an exploding microphone?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting that you just clearly said that. Wow. I mean, I have a hard time believing that. I feel like it still had to do with a gun, but that was a very clear yeah just now. Were you set up because of your position that you were changing? Before your death, you were kind of breaking away from the idea of supporting Israel, the war in Gaza, and all of that. Were you set up because of that? I'm going to ask you this question. Don't get upset by it. I just would like to know. I mean, everyone would like to know. I mean, I have a hard time believing that Erica would have anything to do with this or have any knowledge of this. But, is there a reason that Candace believes that Erica has been dishonest and not forthright about information? So there are some things that you probably still don't fully know. So just because we get to the other side, it doesn't mean that we know everything. And I already knew that, but some things can be revealed. How are you doing now that it's been some time? Are you, at peace? Are you at peace now? yes, I'm something. That sounds like he's saying yes, that he's at peace in some way. That's good. That's good. Are you still following all of what's going on? Like, are you still kind of current and knowing, and of all the things that are going on? Let me ask you this, do you want Candace Owens to continue on the path that she's on and sharing what she's sharing to uncover? Do you want her to keep on kind of trying to break through and trying to uncover the truth? All right. I'm going to say a prayer for you when we're done, okay? And I invite you to say a prayer with me if you'd like. All right. I say God bless you, Charlie, and I hope that you are in the light, man. All right? Thank you, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to shut the camera off, Charlie, and I'm going to just say a brief prayer with you. I invite you to stay for another moment and say that prayer with me. All right? Thank you for coming through.